investor, David, because if you didn't have uncertainty, if you didn't have risk, you wouldn't have gain as a practical matter. The one comes with the other. The question is, how much risk, how much uncertainty? I mean, when does it leave off being an investment and turn into a gamble? Because let's be honest, some of what's going on in the market sometimes looks to me an awful lot like gambling.
Well, totally. I mean, basically trying to time short-term movements in the market is more akin to gambling than investing. And, we think if you're going to invest in the market, you have to have a long-term focus. This last year, for example, has been, or the year 2020, was a great example. The market is down 30% the first few months of the year. And
now, the people are talking about in the market, at least, is inflation. Whether it's, as they say, transitory, as the Fed seems to be indicating right now, or as some people like Larry Summers say, there is a danger, really, of beginning to run away. When you plan for the worst and hope for the best, as an investor, how do you do that with respect to inflation? Do you change your investment at all in planning for the worst on runaway inflation?
Well, I think you want to be sensitive to the idea that inflation could take off. People talk about inflation. I don't see too many of them saying, I'm really confident I know where inflation's going. There are a lot of opinions floating around. And that's really the point. I mean, it's you can't forecast these things. And even if you could forecast where inflation is, you don't know what the effect's going to be on the stock and bond markets.
And as you approached this 40 years ago again, what did you really look at? Because people call you sort of a factor investor because you tend to go, as I understand it, more value and more small cap. Was that a conscious decision you made?
Yeah. What we found was investors back in 1981 when we started, particularly institutional investors, were under the win every year with those things. Until recently, they've been kind of more on value versus growth. Over the last 50 years, these ideas that we focus on have caused fees to come way down, risk controls to go way up. So people should have a much better investment experience than they had 50 years ago. I think that's pretty exciting. I tell students coming out now, you can have a great career in finance, and at the end of it all, feel good about yourself because you can help people. And going forward, I might add, if we're going to help people out, part of the answer has to be better and safer financial services.
What can we do to make them better and safer?
Well, a lot of it is help educating people. People, what you might call noise is like a siren calling people in to do silly things. All this progress, these ideas can be used. A lot of people are attracted to come into the market that never would have gotten into the market.